this to actually pop up with it. There we go. Cool. Now that that's up. What's up, all? Anyone? Let's see. Actually, no. Create a poll. There you go. Cool. Cool. We should be good. What is going on, everyone? Oh, come on. I already started. There we go. Greetings, all. I hope the weekend for everyone has been doing good, or at least you've enjoyed the weekend. If you are here in the U.S., hope you enjoyed the 4th of July this year. Didn't have any fingers taken off by fireworks or anything like that. We don't want that to happen. Not fun. But what's going on? Today we're putting in Toroline, Toro, I believe it's called, for the very first time. I was lucky enough to get a pack of this from one of my friends who uses Toroline strings almost exclusively. And so I was like, hey man, can I get a pack of that? He's like, yeah, you can get a pack of that. I was like, sweet. So he even ended up giving me the rest of this reel that he had that you may be able to see right there, which he used to use Toro as his main string, but now he uses, I think he uses O-Toro from them. So I was completely okay with that because I got the rest of this reel out of it. I don't know exactly how many string jobs are left out of this reel, but I'm gonna use it just because I got it. Devin Clark, hello. Nice of you to say hi. How are you doing? But with this Toro, we're putting it again, like I've done the last few strings. We're putting it at 56 pounds in this Yonex Percept 100D, just because I've personally been finding that I am tending to prefer tighter tensions with these more thin gauge strings, just to help give me the control back, even in a very already control oriented racket. But hey, that's just me. Devin, glad to hear you're doing good. Did you do anything exciting for the weekend, or just kind of more chill, hang out, do whatever, and just kind of do whatever? What was going on? Oh, something fell. Well, that wasn't good. The joys of an old stringing machine. I actually had a friend of mine, he just texted me, I think it was yesterday, saying that he finally got an upgrade to his stringing machine. He finally got an electronic stringing machine, or at least an electronic tensioner head. And so far, he seems to be really liking it. So, maybe one day here soon, I'll get one for myself. Probably would be worth it. Right now, old reliable will do. Well, that's not fun. Alright, cool. Thought the string was getting shredded up for a second, but luckily, it was not. Oh. Devin, where'd you go? Did you just leave? Was I being that mean? I don't think I even said anything. Kevin. Oh well. So, with this, there we go. So, something that...
Sup, bro? Mad Night. Hold on. Is that who I think that is? No. It is.
Mad Knight, what's up? How are you doing? I don't know if Mad Knight is the name that your channel usually shows up under, if you usually go by something else, but all I'm seeing is
Mad Knight. Julian. What is that? What is that?
Julian, did I say the string? Yes, I did, but I can say again, this is Toroline Toro, I believe. And with this, I'm putting it at 56 pounds in my Yonex Percept 100D. Because I have been tending to like the thinner gauge strings at a higher tension, at least in this racket for myself. This is by no means saying anyone else should ever play with this, but it seems to work for me. So that's why I'm going to keep doing it. I really hope I did not mess up with this, because it's looking like I might have.
Let's see. Matt, I'm good. How about you?
You know, Matt, I'm doing pretty good too. I was at work today and got home because I went for a nice walk outside, even though it was a little muggy, but I was like, it's gonna feel pretty great to walk. So I got outside, got some fresh air. It was really nice. And now I'm here stringing, having a great time with everyone. And yeah, hopefully going to get this ready so that at some point this week I can play with this, get some thoughts going on it, and we can go from there. Kevin, where am I from? Kevin, I am from the U.S., which, if you're in the U.S., you'd probably be like, okay, no, duh, where at? But just in case you weren't, I am from Indiana. That is my home state, and that is where I still currently live. So, not too bad living out in the land of the cornfields, but it's always been home. I think I'm short. Yeah, I'm short. Man. Am I short on this side? Ta-da. Man, okay. Now I gotta restart. That's not cool.
Let's see, Matt, how's life treating you?
Like I said, life's treating me. It's not bad, bro. I cannot complain. A, wouldn't do any good, but B, I just can't complain. There's nothing really too bad going on. I'm enjoying most everything. Now I'm not the most excited that I have to restart this entire racket because I didn't count properly when I was putting these in for the first time, but hey, that's okay. This is why it's my racket, right? And it's not someone else's. I'm okay with making a mistake on mine. If I was doing a racket for someone else, unacceptable. But hey, when we're learning, when we're training, it'll happen. What is this? Okay, there we go. So this.
Julian, have I heard of the Silent E stringer? There's one local for 150. That I have not heard of. What is the silent?
What is the silent E stringer? I have not heard of that, sir. Please explain, if you would. Yeah, I did not measure this properly. Let's see if I can... Sorry, I'm going to go out of frame. I'm seeing if I can fix this. Okay. Alright, that should be where I need to be with these. Hopefully. And if not, hopefully my jumper cable will work. Because if I cut this and I would cut wrong, that would suck. That would not be fun. No, Julian, if you can explain what the silent E stringer is, I'd be curious to know what you're talking about. Well, Matt, I'm guessing you get girls, huh? Matt, what gives you that impression? I'm curious. What is making you think that? Let me know. Why do you think that? Just a hunch? What's going on? But Julian, I have not heard of the stringing machine, especially if it's only $150. But what's kind of like the big thing about it? Is it an electronic one? Is it a crank like this one is? What's kind of the deal with it? Okay. Cool. But while that question gets pondered, something... Whoa! Something that I have... Let's see.
You're a handyman. You look like you know.
What are you talking about, dude? I appreciate the compliment. I just have no clue what in the world you're talking about. I don't know what about stringing makes you say handyman. But hey, if you want to say that, I guess you can say that. Now, something I have been noticing recently, and this became apparent today when I was at work, because one of my old friends that used to work with me at the tennis store that I work at, he actually came into the store today, and we, the few of us there that knew him, we all were getting extremely excited because it's like we hadn't seen this guy in years. We all thought, oh, now that he's not working there, he's off doing his own thing. He went to college and did all this other stuff. We were like, man, we hope we see him again one day. But if not, we were like, it was a great while it lasted. But then he shows up, and we're all having a great time. We're going through. We remember some of the days when he worked with us, just some of the memories. It was really fun, and it was really nice. And I was very glad that I got to see him. But then that got me thinking, it's like, man, how much can change within a few years to where it's like, you can do so much in a lot less time than you actually think that you can. Because you can make extreme life decisions pretty much on like a whim, thanks to just humans' ability to choose on what they want to do. And I was like, huh. I'm glad that I got to see him, and I'm glad that everything is going amazing for him. But it just got me thinking, it's like, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of things that you can change. And And then if you do want to change something, or if you want to do anything else, you just have to make the decision to go for it and do it. Another such example, I'll get to those comments here in a second. I did see that there were some responses. Another such example was with my work, to where I asked, hey, do we think for the summer that I could take more of a role to where I would majorly be stringing tennis rackets rather than necessarily helping as many people in the actual store? And they were like, well, let's see. Because I figured we had enough people at the store and enough people working to where it's like, if I wanted to try something, might as well do it now. And if for some reason it doesn't work, then hey, we know for next time that, okay, we're just gonna go back to how it was, and at least I gave it a try. Because it's not like it's an irreversible decision or anything, which I don't, at least right now, I don't tend to make a lot of those. But that's just me. I don't know about others. Let's see. Julian, it's electric, looks like an old version of a Gamma Progression 2 ALS. It is a tabletop machine, 2-point clamping. Julian, I may have to look into that. But if it's an electronic machine and a two-point mounting system, if that's the case, the $150 is the thing that's getting me. I do have to be honest. It's like, if it's electronic, why is it only $150? Because most electronics are quite a bit more. So that's where my concern is slightly growing. Just like, how did they get away with that? Or like, how are they pricing this in order for that to work? It may be a very nice machine. I personally don't know. I haven't seen it or I haven't heard about it. But if it is electronic at $150, that's not bad. Mad Knight, do you play tennis as a hobby? Yeah, I play tennis as a hobby. It's a fun hobby, A, to keep active, and B, with my work being at a tennis retail store, it's a good way to go out and just get better at my job too, because I can test a bunch of different strings, a bunch of different rackets and products, so that way I can not only just know for myself, I get to have fun playing with it, but I also can test the product so I can better help anyone that walks into the store. So it's fun. I don't necessarily play competitively or anything, just because let me rephrase it. I have not made time to play competitively. I probably could, or probably would like to, just because I like being competitive in terms of tennis. I like getting better, and I like playing people that are also better than me, just so that way I can see the level. But for right now, I'd say it's probably more so a hobby than anything else. And then it just so happens I work at a tennis store, so by doing more of this hobby, I get better at my job, which even better, because I'm doing something that I actually enjoy. Let me rephrase it. I'm working in a field where I actually enjoy what I'm doing, which who couldn't want anything more? All right, come on, not. This is not fun. Puns. Come on. Should not. It's not good. I only have this much string left to work with. Because I don't know if that's going to be enough. Okay. With this, I'm going to do what I used to do then. If I remember how to do it. This is not official, not tying advice for tennis. This is just what I am doing because I ran out of string. Actually, can I get this through? Will this work? If this works, I'm gonna be a little amazed. Slightly. Come on. Come on. Work. Hey, it worked. Cool. Let's see if I can do it on the other side too. Good soul, hi. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by to the live stream of the stringing. Pleasure to have you. Julian, it's used on Marketplace. Okay. That's why I haven't heard of it. I don't know how I don't know how I feel about like secondhand stuff like that. I don't know. To me, I don't know if I would trust it. But again, that's just me. Man, I really cut these short for this racket. Note to self, like last time, if I'm pulling string out of either a reel or a pack for an 18 main racket, pull more than I think. At least by a little bit, because this is rough. Alright, let's see if this will work. Kinda. Alright. Cool. We got those. And then, let's see. Mad Night, how much for a custom racket? What do you mean by that? Are you saying like, how much will I charge to string your racket? Or are you asking about a custom racket in general to where you would just get your own custom racket design? Because if that's what you're asking, I have no clue how you would go about doing that. I think there's a racket company that I've heard of. I've never like tested any of their stuff, but I've heard about them that they may do something like that. But if you're asking me to make you something, I will tell you, I am not an engineer. I do not know how to do that. So, I may not be the one to ask about that topic. But if you're asking about me stringing your racket, that I'm not sure on. I'd have to see if you actually wanted me to do that, and B, we'd have to decide on string, and there would probably be shipping involved, so it's like, do you really want your racket to go through all that? I don't know if you do. So, yeah. I don't know. There's just variables that go into that I haven't necessarily thought about. So, I mean, we could maybe if we workshop through it, we could probably figure it out, but I don't know. Good soul, those lockout machines are not accurate, are they? What do you mean by not good? Are you saying that the tension isn't accurate in them? Is that what you're referencing, or just actual string job itself? Because in my experience, the lockouts still are able to provide a good string quality job. It's just the fact that when you're comparing it to an electronic machine, then the electronic is going to win pretty much every single time. I don't think that I don't think I know anyone that has strung on both an electronic and a lockout machine or a crank like this, and they have said that they felt this machine worked better than the electric ones. However, because of that, these are also a lot more accessible too. So that's where a lot more people, you'll see a lot more people with these, and they still give consistent good tension readings, but I would say they're not as consistent as an electronic machine. That would be my thing. Yes, sorry, I meant string me one. The machine pulls the string to set tension and locks in place. Once locked, the tension may slightly decrease the string stretches, unlike on a constant pull machine. Even a drop weight machine is constant pull, right? It's just slower to use. Drop weights, I cannot really speak to, just because I personally have never used a drop weight machine. I've only ever used this crank or the crank or lockout, and then I've also used electronic. So I can't speak to a drop weight. I believe the drop weight is essentially the same premise, but I've always attributed drop weights more to the cranks and lockouts than I have electronic or constant pulls. But that's just been my experience talking to people that also use drop weight machines. Because I have a friend, the one who actually I mentioned a little bit earlier when not as many people were here. My one friend that upgraded his stringing machine, he was using a drop weight machine, but he just upgraded to a new machine with an electronic tensioner head to give him that more consistent feel. So he was pretty excited about that. But yeah. Yeah. Mad Night, I'm not sure how the stringing would go if you wanted me to do it. Because are you in the US? Because I don't think doing anything international would be good for either of us right now, especially if you were to be especially for us to be shipping the rackets or anything like that. I feel like that would be harder to do or not as good to do, especially if it's going across country, going to different countries. But I don't know. We could probably figure out some way to see if we can actually do that. I wouldn't be opposed to trying. You would just have to realize it's like, hey, we would just have to know what string you want, what tension you want, and then go from there. But yeah. If you want to try it, I'd be down to try. We would just have to figure it out. I am really hoping that because I counted the mains so close that these crosses I do not have that problem with, because I would really like to not have to break into the rest of that reel to just pull more of a set, because I'd like to just have this ready to go, have it be done, and go from there. But that's just me. I think I should have enough, but I don't want to jinx myself just yet. Especially since I'm about halfway done or anything like that. Alright. 2. No, don't. Come on, machine. Don't fall. All right, Mad Knight. I appreciate you being here. Hey, if you are curious about me wanting to string your racket, if you look in the description of almost any of my videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see an email. Email me there that it's you, and I'll make sure to check both my spam and my junk folder to see where it is, and then we'll talk about if you do want me to actually go ahead and see if we can do that. Do it to where you send me your racket, and then see if I can string it. Sound good? Hopefully you heard that before you clicked off and went to bed. Let's see. Good Soul. Are Yonex sticks noticeably better quality than the Chinese-made brands? I would... In terms of quality control, so essentially saying, like, if the racket says it's 305 grams, then the racket will be 305 grams. I have found Yonex to be much better and more precise at those kinds of measurements. In terms of playability wise, that I think is more just player preference. So if you're wanting something that is going to be almost essentially exactly what it says on the racket, then I think Yonex is probably the best, in my opinion, for that. But if you're wanting a certain feel, or if you're wanting certain characteristics for your specific style of play, then that's where Yonex may not necessarily be the best option, just because other brands do offer different feels, which may suit your game better. And that would be my take on that. Let's see. All right. Rob, one-handed backhand or two-handed backhand? Rob, I have to say, just because this is me personally, I have a two-handed backhand. So, I'm going to lean two-handed backhand. I know, I'm biased, Rob. However, it's what I have, it's what I use, so I can't go against it. That is my backhand. And I also would argue I have a much better backhand than I do a forehand. So, I definitely can't go against my backhand. I much prefer that. I would argue it is my better shot, and I have relied on that much more than I ever have, I'd say, probably most other shots. So, for me, Rob, two-handed backhand. But that's just me. One-hander, I will say, it looks cooler, and you definitely are able to generate a little bit more pace and a little bit more spin, in my opinion. But I'm a two-hander through and through. I'll pull out a one-hander just if I'm with friends, just to see if it's working or if I want to try something different. But I will be a two-hand stan is what I will be and where I will fall on that. How much difference in weight would there be between different grip size Yonex sticks, i.e. grip size 1 versus grip size 4 of otherwise identical rackets? I really don't think there would be much, if any, at all. yes, one of the grips is thicker, but I really don't think that if when I've measured Yonex frames, I don't think grip size has ever affected the actual weight of the racket itself. So I don't believe there would be anything extremely drastic like that. So yeah. And if for some reason there is, I would assume it would be minuscule, and you probably wouldn't even notice. All right, Mad Knight. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for chatting. I appreciate it. And like I said, have a good night. Yeah. Poop. All right, we got this. Yeah, this has been so far. This has been a fun stream. We've got some new people talking in the chat besides the people that are usually here. So it's nice to meet and interact with some of the new people. Of course, I will never ever say that I am absolutely sick and tired of seeing or hearing from Chills or Ernest or anyone. But it's nice talking to all of you, like Good Soul, Mad Knight. I know he went to bed, but it's nice talking to all of you. Julian, you as well. I know. Yeah. Oh no. What material is the grip made of? It must be incredibly light. I think it's called the pallet. Yes, it is called the pallet. The pallet overall, I think, can vary from company to company, but a lot of the times, I think a good majority of them actually just use a really light wood. Now, I may be completely wrong, but from every time I've seen a base grip taken off, it just kind of looks like wood to me, so I've just kind of gone with it. And then the grip itself, the base grip is there just to make it easier on your hand with all the cushioning it has in it. So that's what I've kind of seen. I may be completely wrong in the actual material that's used, but I don't think, if anything, if it's not wood, maybe it's like no, it's not plastic. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with wood. Just Googled it. And survey says, what did survey say? Which is base and handle most commonly made from a polymeric material or a molded plastic. Some pallets are also made from a hardened foam. Oh. Well. There we go. My guess of what it was not was what it was. How weird. Oh, what was that? Cool. There we go. But yeah. Okay. I agree. It looks like wood. Yeah. I'm just thinking back to the actual wooden rackets when they were all made of wood, and I was just like, I guess they kept that, but no. As Google says, I am wrong. Thank you for looking that up, though, Good Soul. Always good to know and fact check. But that was an interesting question, because that hasn't really ever come up as a discussion point. So, very nice. I am not liking this. I am not liking my chances here. How many do I have left? Well, actually, I have 3. I have 2 crosses left. Let's see.
Let's find out.
2 crosses left. Can we get this done without having to restart the entirety of the crosses? Because that would be awful. In my opinion. No, that would just be awful. Having to restart everything. Not fun. No. There we go. Okay. Oh wait, forgot to lock it. Nah. Alright. So we got that. Cool. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to tension this one now, and then tension the next one, and then tension the final cross on its own to make sure I have enough string to actually get to the tensioner for both of them. So let's see how this goes. Moment of truth. I think we're gonna make it. I'm hopeful. Ta-da. Ah. Come on. Enough. Has anyone that is watching, has anyone tried Toroline strings? Because I am kind of new to the Toroline game. So I'm curious to know what are thoughts, ideas, anything to know before I go to actually hit with this. Come on. Okay. All right. Cool. Come on. There we go. Cool. So, made it through. Oh no! Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. That would not be good. All right, we made it. Sweet. Okay. You. Yeah. I'm glad this worked out. That having to redo that would not have been fun, and taking all the string out would not have been fun. But hey, we don't got to, as long as I don't mess up right now. But we're not going to. We're going to do it just fine. Come on. I will not be beaten by a string. Should probably try this. That might make it easier. Cool. All right. So while I finish this up, if anyone has any idea, if anyone has any ideas that they would like to see for videos that they would want me to cover about tennis, whether it be about string, rackets, gear, anything of the sort, speak now if you have anything you think would be interesting, and I will check to see what I can come up with on that. Come on. Okay. Because I want to make the videos that all of you guys want to watch. Because there wouldn't necessarily be a point in me making anything. No one's gonna watch it. You're kind of just taking up YouTube space or internet space, and it's like, that's not cool. But hey, Don't fall. Cool. All right. Very nice. Very nice. 'Tis done. Now we gotta make sure that it's straightened up. Cool, cool. This. Water. All right. Cool. And that's the racket. Come on. Cool. Now those are free. All right. We're ready. Cool. Now I need to go play. But I will not be doing that right now. It is much too dark, and much too late where I am to actually go out and play. Most of the people I would play with, they're probably asleep already. So, what are you gonna do? But hey, I'm curious and excited to see how Toroline's gonna play. It is Toro, like I said. So yeah, if anyone knows Toroline, and they're like, hey man, there's this kid, there's this guy, his name's Brody, he's on YouTube. You should probably send him a few things just to review. If anyone knows Toroline, all I'm saying, send them my way. Let them know that I would be happy and glad to review all of their strings and any of their hybrids that they want me to. Just saying. That'd be pretty cool, I think. But with that, I will pause for if there are any more questions, comments, concerns. The racket is done, but I can hang out for a little bit. Oh no. There we go. I can hang out for a while, and if there's anything else going on. If not, then we can end this here. We can go back to our lives. And I will be getting ready for work tomorrow. Got a long day of stringing from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. So yeah. Great time. Great fun. We'll see if we can crack my goal. Not my goal, but like my personal record of, what is it? Yeah. It was either 22 or 23 rackets in a day. And I want to say it was 22, so I averaged about like 2 more than what I was expected of at work for that hourly day. It's usually 2 per hour is the kind of not requirement, but expectation when someone's been stringing as long as I have. So I'll be excited to see what I get up to tomorrow. Hopefully it's within that 20 range. That'd be pretty sick. And if it's not, then I just gotta get better, man. Can't be slacking or anything. I got 10 hours. But yeah, cool. So, looks like there has not been any questions, comments, or concerns. So with that, I think we shall end it there. And yeah, I hope everyone that came out had a great time, had a fun time, whether you were just listening or whether you joined in, like Good Soul, Rob, Mad Knight, Julian. I appreciate all of you guys for being here, as well as actually just commenting if you did. And with that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. I'll try and get back as soon as I can, as well as just help out as much as I can. And as always, take care.